Here we go. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. Again, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you could pop any of your questions into the chat function at the bottom of your screen, and we will try to cover this as much as possible. I will start sharing a slide first. Are you able to see everything here? Perfect. Great. Very quick introduction of myself. My name is Jenny Zhou. I'm the Deputy Head of International Student Recruitment. I'm very excited to be joined by my colleagues from different faculties today from Queen Mary University of London. So we have 3 academic colleagues joining us and also 1 marketing manager joining us today to represent different new programs and different schools at Queen Mary. At the end of today's session, we'll talk about our exciting scholarships opportunities for our international students for September 2025. So I'm not going to go into too much details about the university. I trust our partners already very familiar with Queen Mary, but I would like to recap the exciting achievements that we have made in the past years, and also to remind you guys the excellent option your students are considering at the moment. So Queen Mary University of London is part of the elite Russell Group universities, and we are 24 research-intensive UK universities. Currently, we are ranked number 92 in the world by the US News Best Global Universities, and that is 9th in the UK. We are also 7th in the world for International Outlook and 7th in the UK for research quality. We also have 9 Nobel Prize winners affiliated with the university, which all of these demonstrate our excellence in research and also education. Very quick recap of our global profile. University is a truly global university, and what is very unique for us is we offer authentic international education experience to our students. Over 40% of our student body actually coming from outside the UK. So your students, regardless what kind of cultural backgrounds they have or they're coming from, they would joining a very diverse community to allow them see different parts of the world and understand different cultures, which I think is the best part of international education. At the moment, we are hosting more than 33,000 students studying at different campuses that we have. Students here having very unique experience, particularly in our London campuses. We have the largest self-contained campus in central London, which offers the best of both worlds. So the exciting city life, as well as a very safe and secure campus experience as well. Okay, that's enough for now from me. And I am going to hand over to Professor Chris White from School of Physical and Chemical Sciences to introduce our very, very exciting new undergraduate program. Over to you, Chris.
Okay, thanks. Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks for the opportunity to present this program to you. Thanks also for summarising all the reasons why I love working at Queen Mary and love living in London. So I certainly second everything you said about it being a great place to live and work. If we go to the next slide, please. So my job this morning is to introduce the BSc in Applied Artificial Intelligence. Let me give some motivation for this programme. First of all, I think we can all agree that artificial intelligence is rapidly changing how society functions and evolves. Some people even call it the 4th industrial revolution that the world is undergoing. What we're seeing, particularly in my research field of physics, is that the boundaries between traditional disciplines are changing. That's what AI is doing. It's entering every sphere of employ and every field of research. Now, I think future graduates in this area, to remain internationally competitive, need a combination of technical skills, a very broad outlook of where those skills can be applied, and also a social conscience. And some of the ethical problems of AI are becoming more and more apparent as we go forward with this. So that's the reason why we've put a new program together on applied artificial intelligence. It's designed to basically meet those goals and thus be quite different to a very traditional, much more focused computer science program, which is perhaps not meeting all of those goals simultaneously. So this is actually run by the School of Physical and Chemical Sciences, but I think it's important to stress this is not a physics or chemistry program. We already have physics programs. We recommend them to students who are interested in those disciplines and some AI. This is very much the focus is on artificial intelligence. So the next slide, please. So I thought I would have a table of the structure of the program. We don't need to go through this in detail, but I think it's nice to have a table at least in the notes where the structure of the program is there. What you will see is that each different year of the degree, we have theoretical modules, so they are learning the underpinnings of artificial intelligence and the techniques that go into it, mathematics and computation. They also have coding modules, so the students will be doing very, very hands-on stuff where they're playing with code, they're building up a portfolio of work. There's also project work in every year of the degree, and that sets it apart from more traditional degrees, which only have project work later on. So in that project work, they're solving real world problems. They're also meeting people from industry who are setting briefs. They're giving pitches to people as if they're speaking to industry contacts and so on. And then finally, there's external engagement modules. So this is where we have people coming in from industry, talking about how they apply AI in their actual lives. We have sessions on entrepreneurship and consultancy. So the idea is that this degree should be churning out people that not only know the mechanics of AI and how to do it, but are also best placed to kind of fit into a company and be set apart from other students who have done more theoretical degrees. So yes, there's a very, very wide range of careers that people can go into with this degree. AI is touching every facet of society now. So there's commerce and e-commerce, there's healthcare, there's finance, big area, academia itself, there's the media and so on. So anywhere where you can think of that's using artificial intelligence, we would be trying to build that in, there's applications to the degree so that people are able to go with that interdisciplinary mentality and kind of work in all those different sectors. So the last slide, please. Yeah, if you could. So I thought I'd have a list of selling points just to make them clear. We're not assuming any prior coding knowledge. In particular, students in the UK, it's not actually that common that they will have done computing A level, even if they're doing a computer science degree. So we are teaching coding from scratch. In the first year. People will be taught by experienced data scientists. So you may ask, why is this in a physics department? You may remember that the Nobel Prize for Physics last year went for artificial intelligence. So it is something that's always been associated with physics. We are experts in that discipline. We have people linked with, flagship experiments around the world like CERN and so on, who apply these methods every day in their research. Another selling point is that the machine learning and the artificial intelligence starts already in, semester one of year one. They get going with AI immediately, unlike some more traditional degrees where that would come much, much later. They're learning about the societal and ethical implications of AI. So not just the technical stuff, but also those things that will make them a well-rounded employee in this sphere. They can network directly with guest speakers from industry. They can build up a portfolio of work to show potential employers. So when they go for job interviews in the UK or elsewhere, they've got that portfolio. And also our assessment is quite deliberate in this program. Very, very little of it is exam-based. I think there's one exam on the whole program, which is the maths course in the first year. Everything else is very supportive coursework, which is about hands-on stuff. It's about working in groups. It's about building up a personal portfolio as well of work that they can show in employers. So that's why it's an applied degree rather than perhaps a more traditional degree. And we're also providing laptops as part of the program. So that they can, all be having the same kind of technology. So that's what I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Chris. That's really helpful and a very concise introduction of this new program as well. As I just popped into the chat to everyone, if you do have any questions about applied AI, please feel free to put that in the chat section and we will pass that on to Chris later on. And we are happy to provide further details should you find that useful. Thank you very much, Chris. I'm going to invite my colleague, Dr. Jessica Skiller, and she's going to talk about our very exciting new program from the School of Business and Management, MSc Global Business and Sustainability. Jessica, would you mind to come in? Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much, Jenny. And I'll try to be as concise as Chris. Could I have the next slide, please? Brilliant, thanks. So yes, I'm here to tell you a little bit about our new MSc Global Business and Sustainability launching in September. So we know that sustainability is really the most important business challenge facing businesses across the globe today. And we've really designed this program with that kind of urgency in mind. On a number of different fronts. So the program is really designed to give students cutting edge knowledge, critical thinking, so really good understanding of sustainability, and particularly also why we've reached this point where sustainability is seems to be such a difficult problem that businesses are still really struggling to overcome, even though it's been on the agenda and on the table for such a long time. So giving students the kind of knowledge and critical thinking and understanding of this challenge, but also, of course, the really practical skills to go into different kinds of organizations and tackle sustainability challenges in their careers moving forward. So the program has really been designed to prepare students to become leaders in driving sustainability broadly across three main areas, which is business, government, also multilateral organizations and government roles across the world, and also in civil society organizations that are working very closely with businesses in the kind of contemporary landscape to think about sustainability. And we've designed this program then to give students a kind of competitive advantage in this increasing global sustainability job market that we know is growing very fast. So why study this topic at Queen Mary? Well, first of all, we do have this very strong focus on practical skills, and that's across a lot of different areas of sustainability. So things like global supply chains, climate policy, sustainable finance, business partnerships for development. I could go on, but these are some of the kind of key areas where we'll be equipping students with these skills. But really crucially, we think we stand out from competitor programs teaching business sustainability in some very specific ways. So first of all, this program is really designed to draw perspectives, not just from the global north, but essentially from the global south as well, and understand how the concepts of and practice of business sustainability is different in different contexts. We're a very interdisciplinary team. I'll talk about that again in a minute, but our approach to learning around these topics comes from, we're drawing from lots of different disciplines that sit within the business school. So that's political science, political economy, geography, sociology, anthropology, lots of different kinds of perspectives. And then really crucially, climate change is at the heart of this issue for us, but we also look, so I've got a little fly, we've also look at these other dimensions of sustainability, and that's really central to the program. So we're trying to understand how climate change is connected to things like racial justice, gender equality, and human rights. So it's a very people-centered, people-focused degree, and we think that really does make us stand out from some of the other offerings in the market around business sustainability, and of course the academic excellence that you would expect from a Russell Group university. So what's the ideal student profile here? Well, our entry criteria is a 2-1 in a social sciences degree, which is standard for our School of Business and Management, but we have managed to tweak that a little bit for this program, and also open to students who perhaps don't have that grounding in social science, but do bring relevant professional experience. And we've designed our entry criteria so that if there are students who come with that with the professional experience, but not necessarily with the social science background, we will be able to look at those applications and assess them on a one-to-one basis, and they will come directly to me and Professor Jerry Hanlon, who we are the co-directors of the program. So please tell students they shouldn't be put off if they don't have that 2-1 in social science. If they've got the relevant professional experience, please come anyway, because we're really keen to hear from students, potential students in that position. So we're looking for business studies students, looking for purpose in their careers. Also, on the flip side of that, perhaps students who do have a social science background, but want to apply that to something really concrete in business or government or the civil society. We're also looking then for students who perhaps are already working in sustainability, but want to take some time out to reflect on their practice and learn new cutting edge approaches to their work before they go back into that sector. And across the board, we're looking for students who are intellectually curious and passionate about climate change and social justice. Next slide, please, Jenny. Thank you. Great. So graduate career paths. This program is really designed to set students up for successful careers across a range of different areas. So strategy roles in global corporations, that's in the title, global business, but also international development, NGOs, government regulations and policy, politics and diplomacy, sustainable finance, and management consultancies that are also really have a big focus on sustainability in the current market. Teaching and assessment methods. I haven't given you a whole table here of the different modules, but that's all available on the website if you need it. But broadly, we've got 7 compulsory modules and 1 elective. We've got a big dissertation component that can be desk-based research or original independent research. We teach, I think, across all of the modules with this workshop format, which is a really exciting kind of hands-on mixture of mini lectures, real-life case studies, and a lot of hands-on activities, which we find really engages the students in great ways. And we've got a mix of assessment methods across the programme. So that includes essays, group presentations, podcasts, briefing documents that look exactly like what students would be needing to do out in the real world, some exams, and also critical reviews. So a really broad range to suit different kinds of students' learning needs. So student support and the highlights of this programme. So certainly in the first year, we're looking at a very small and closely mentored cohort. So students will be getting a lot of attention and one-to-one support across this programme. We fought really hard for tailored one-to-one dissertation supervision. We will not be supervising in dissertations in groups. They'll have a dedicated one-to-one dissertation supervisor. The opportunity to carry out independent and practical research in an industry setting for the dissertation, and will help students to set up those connections and support them in doing that. And this, really importantly, is research-led teaching from a really dedicated and passionate team. We've designed this programme very collectively across the team, drawing on our own expertise across a range of areas like sustainable development, sustainable finance, energy, agriculture, infrastructure, digital technologies and more. And we're part of PRIME, which is the UN-sponsored Responsible Management Initiative. And then finally, we've secured buy-in from a number of different organisations that are going to send us guest experts to give guest talks across the programme. And we've purposely drawn on expertise here from a really wide range of different organisations that are grappling with business sustainability in different ways. And you'll see some of them here. So everything from Friends of the Earth, big global NGO, to EY, enormous management consultancy, to the trade justice movement in the UK and the United Nations. I think that's it, Jenny. Thank you so much. For any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Jessica. I have seen quite a lot of guests just joined us in the middle of this session. So I want to reassure people, don't worry if you missed the first part of the session. We will send the recording to all guests who have registered for this Zoom meeting. So you shouldn't miss any important updates. I also want to quickly recap on one thing is the first part of this session covered the new program from our School of Physical and Chemical Sciences, which is the Applied AI program at undergraduate level, a standard 3 years program. I would like to invite Professor Chris back to the screen, if that's possible, just to quickly recap on the entry requirement for the Applied AI program, if that's okay, Chris.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't have those in the slides. Let me just Google the official page so that I'm getting everything right. So how do you want the entrance requirements? Is it this is a BSc program? So yeah, so A levels. It's AAB at A level, and that must include one of A level mathematics, A level computer science, or physics, and that excludes general studies. So we're not assuming that people have done computer science A level. We're not assuming they've done physics A level or mathematics per se, but we do want to see one of them, and have those grades at AAB.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chris. And I think it's really refreshing to hear from both Professor Chris and also Dr. Jessica about the assessment methods. We are doing a lot of different ways of assessment, actually putting less significance on the exams. I think everybody would imagine that it's very unusual your line manager give you an exam in your future job. So I think that's a really reflection of Queen Mary's commitment to support our students for real life career advancement. enhancement. So that's really good. Thank you so much, Chris. And also I want to touch on again for the new program that Jessica just shared, in case our colleagues coming later didn't catch this. This is a new MSc program for global business and sustainability. The program's entry level ideally is a 2-1 entry for our students coming from a social sciences degree, or students with relevant professional experience, but not necessarily with a degree that in the social science remit. I also wanted to address to our agent partners specifically, if you have any students that sort of sit between 55% to 60%, which is the mid to high 2-2 bracket, and they have good overall profile, but just a little bit short in the academic grades, don't hesitate to contact us. The school is willing to take a flexible approach and assess students as at a very holistic level. So now I'm going to invite my colleague, Professor Lina, and to talk about our very new program, Linguistics and Artificial Intelligence. Professor Lina, if you would like to turn on your camera. Thank you.
It's on.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's been on the whole time. I hope people have been able to see me nodding along, in particular to Chris's presentation, because he's covered a lot of the things that I want to cover. If you can go already to the first slide. No, first slide, not the second one. Where did the first slide go? Did you take out the first slide? This first slide should be the one that says that has AI is expected to create 12 million new jobs. Something's gone wrong with the deck. Something went wrong with editing. Yeah, it's that whole page is missing. Oh, you decided to take out the video. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That's a shame. Anyways, it's fine. I think Chris sort of set things up correctly in that AI is emerging as this new challenge, this new opportunity, this potentially this kind of, people badging this as this fourth sort of major revolution. And I think a huge amount of anxiety is out there in the world about what that means for people who are not coming from a STEM background, right? Who are maybe feeling like there isn't necessarily a place for them. And so what we are offering with this new MSc in Linguistics and Artificial Intelligence is essentially a pathway to building quant skills, building a data science profile, building an understanding of how to engage with artificial intelligence and this new emerging landscape for people who are coming primarily from, let's call it a shape background. So social sciences, humanities, arts, broadly construed, people who don't already have that strong kind of computer science or STEM background. And why are we doing this? Why is linguistics offering this? Because, I think our former PhD student who works in the diversity sphere and does amazing work, Dr. Mame Nikabs, had a brilliant post on LinkedIn that really kind of highlights why linguistics is a kind of superpower as a skill set. And obviously, artificial intelligence is fundamentally sat on top of language, large language models. And so linguistics and linguists are sort of uniquely well placed, I think, to help people understand and navigate artificial intelligence as this kind of emerging sphere, generative AI in particular. So the next slide, please. We've had a long-running MA in linguistics, and we're already sort of seeing what this looks like as a career path. So for instance, a recent MA linguistics alumni from 2021, Celeste, is working with Twitch. She's working in kind of content moderation. This is the kind of pathway out of the new MSc that we expect to be able to support, right? These are the kinds of roles that we see our students going into. So research science, so she's sort of navigating how content moderation works at Twitch, for instance, right? This is not an obvious connection to linguistics, but it really kind of emerges from that skill set of understanding language and understanding sort of data and sort of the putting those two pieces together. The next slide, please. Similarly, another recent alum from our MA linguistics program, Rona, is working in market research for in the education sector. So again, this is the kind of role that linguistics in general trains you for, and that we see this MSc in linguistics and AI kind of building more and more opportunities of these kinds, right? More and more students going into these kinds of careers. So the next slide, please. Nope. Next, not backwards. Okay, the slides are all out of order. I'm not quite sure what's happening. So what I was hoping, yes, there we go. So why Queen Mary? Why our specific program? As we say, it's really a conversion MSc. So it's for students essentially who haven't had the opportunity to do the applied AI, BSc degree, who already have a bachelor's degree in some area, maybe have already been working for a number of years and are realizing they need to pivot. And need to sort of make that transition and kind of grapple with and acquire this skill set in kind of quant skills, data analysis. We have a dedicated module called Applying Linguistics in the Real World, where professionals working in spheres such as marketing, forensic science, in the tech sector, like we have partners at Google and so on, come to campus and talk about what those kind of careers look like. And we also have a research practicum module that allows students to work directly with either on funded research projects with colleagues or with external partners. I don't know why that changed. And so there's a lot of sort of building in and out for students, the outside world coming to us, and then students also being placed with partners that allow them to kind of do independent research that sort of transitions into kind of career directions. We also are well connected to other units at Queen Mary, in particular the computational linguistics group in engineering. And as I say, we have this long-standing MA linguistics that this program runs alongside. So we kind of know at this point, we know what we're doing, and we have a real strong track record of successful graduates going on to really interesting careers. Next slide, please. So what will you study, or what would you students study if they come to do this? So the first semester is really about the rapid upskilling, getting that kind of quant data analysis under your belt. So programming for the humanities, learning to code for people who've never touched a programming language before, grappling with large language data sets. What does that mean, and what kind of tools do we use to do that kind of data analysis? And then also the theory, so foundations of computational linguistics, understanding what it means to, sort of what the toolkit is that generative AI is built out of. In the second semester, then you do some additional advanced work specifically on language and AI and advanced programming. And then alongside that, you have access, or students would have access to a full range of options that are coming from the MA linguistics, as I've mentioned, applying linguistics in the real world, the research practicum, but also modules on sort of ethics and digital media, on neurodiversity, on health communication, experimental linguistics, lab-based research, etc. So a very broad range of different complementary modules that run alongside the sort of three core modules. Next slide, please. So I thought it might be useful for you as agents to understand a little bit about who we're seeing being interested in this program already. We're seeing a lot of kind of early/mid-career professionals reaching out who are already working in areas like translation, marketing and communications, language teaching, speech and language therapy, who are realizing I'm going to need to know what AI, sort of how to work with AI as a tool to progress my career, right? This is coming for me, whether I like it or not. And so we're seeing a lot of interest there. And then we're also seeing kind of current and recent undergraduates with backgrounds in linguistics and translation studies in modern languages, again, from this kind of more humanities and social science background, who are wanting to make that transition. And we're seeing interest from around the world. We're seeing lots of interest from the US, from China, but Japan, Nepal, Egypt, the UAE, and also many UK-based students. So again, building this really dynamic and interesting international cohort. Next slide. So please, you've taken off my QR code. So all of my slides have been changed. But anyways, please, if you would like to reach out to me, get in contact, and I'm very happy to have, there we go. That was the key bit that's missing. I'm really happy to have one-on-one meetings with prospective students to discuss the goodness of fit of the program for them and talk them through how well this might suit for them. And then just to preempt the question, since it wasn't on the slides, like the other programs, we're looking for kind of a 2-1 or that kind of upper 2-2 as a background. As I say, we're not expecting coding or STEM as a background. That's the training that we're offering. relevant professional experience, a strong case, is also relevant. So just encourage people to get in touch with me directly. I'm really happy to have those conversations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Nina. And that's really helpful to understand the setup of the program and the purpose of the program as well. And also the current interests coming from all sorts of areas of this world is very encouraging as well. So now I'm going to invite my colleague Avilia come in to introduce two more programs, actually MA programs from the same school, which is our School of the Arts. Olivia, are you ready to? Great.
I'm here. Thanks, Jenny, and thanks everyone for allowing me to speak to you today about two of the new master's programs that are coming from School of the Arts. I'm not too sure if I've met some of you in London if you came to visit, or maybe we've had messages online, but just to let you know that I work across the School of the Arts. So I work with Linnea, and any of these queries, if you do have any follow-up questions, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. So I'm going to try and go through these as quickly as possible. The first of which I'm here today to give you a little bit more information about is an overview of the MA Creative Arts and Media, which is opening in September 2025 entry. Just to give you a bit of background now, since it's open for application, we have only had international applications. So it's proving to be really, really popular with international students. So just to let you know, that's probably what the cohort is going to look like next year. So just to give you a bit of an idea, this is a practice-based master's degree, and it'll equip students with tools to explore, create a range of art formats and media, and you'll be taught by industry experts as well. So within the School of the Arts, we have academics and professionals from theatre, creative writing backgrounds. They're in their own right really, really strong departments. So the idea of this program is to encourage collaboration within those departments, so students will learn the industry as it would be in the real world. So it's very interdisciplinary. I'm going to run through very quickly the modules, elective and compulsory that you'll be doing. So you'll see here in semester 1, these are the two core modules that all students will be taking. So the program runs for 12 months with 3 semesters. The first semester will create that foundation of making media. So students, as I mentioned, is very, very practical. So they'll actually be making their own blended performances, working on installation pieces or film perhaps, and exploring digital analog tools and enhanced storytelling techniques. As we mentioned, we have experts that work within the field already, particularly in London. It's over a £25 billion industry in London across the field. So being based in London doing creative arts media is a really, really fantastic opportunity for students within this year. And then the students will also be doing a module in creative producing. So this is once again working with those industry professionals on film, theatre, live art, VR festivals, and they'll learn in this module to actually pitch and get funding for their projects, which is really important within the creative arts, to be able to not only make it into the real world. How do you make your pieces viable for the industry? And then in semester 2, you will choose one core module, and then you will choose an elective. So these are the 2 core modules. Most students, we do expect to do writing for production. So this is developing, presenting creative writing for various production contexts, whether it's in screen or live, which is good. You can, go between whatever the students prefer to work on. And this will be in group project work. So both of these are collaborative projects. So once again, working with students that will be either doing the screenwriting, the producing, creating, funding, pitching, etc. So very, very real world practice. So just the second one, collaborative practices, is a little bit more academic. So if they want to go into the more intellectual, political challenges of working with others, that's the route they will go down. But most students we will expect to be doing the writing for production. So then if we move on to the next slide, we have the electives, which is really nice that you have those core collaborative modules, but then the student can choose their selected areas, whether they want to focus on performance activism, social justice, want to do more text, self-performance, you can see here, or creative documentary, short film production, screenwriting. They can choose whichever one they decide to take the direction in within their studies, which is, again, just makes it a bit more tailored to what they want to do afterwards. So then in the final slide, all students will then do a final project with one of our industry partners. So the one we expect to happen next year is with Ocean Generation. So making what they have learned with their peers. We're hopeful by the third semester, people would have bonded together. They would have, learned their different techniques and what they want to get out of the program. And they will create their idea and pitch it to Ocean Generation, which is tackling climate change affecting the oceans. And they will actually use what they have produced in a real world context. So again, building that portfolio in the real world against contexts which matter for not just in the UK, but internationally as well. And that's something students can take with them afterwards. So yeah, that just gives you an idea of nice practice based in the real world. So afterwards, what we expect students to take with them. So you can see extremely practical. So you work in teams, real world writers, directors, performers, that collaborative approach, which is really important in the industry. Also experimentation, so testing new ideas and approaching to storytelling and using that diverse media within the 12 months. That's quite exciting, the exposure to those real world practical skills. Career opportunities, many students already within our master's programs that we run go on to have very successful careers within film, theatre, media, advertising, entertainment, the likes of BBC, Netflix, even further afield. And the roles within those are quite varied. So the writing, directing, performance, production, coordination, set design, just to name a few. And yes, the transferable skills you'll gain, even just being based in London, the students should build a really strong network that will be really appreciated globally, that you have built those ties within such a creative capital, which is London. So yeah, that's a very whistle-stop tour of the creative arts media. The entry requirements are 2-1 above at undergraduate level in any subject. So again, we don't have anything specific subject-wise that we expect, but we would appreciate students that have an interest in that industry and want to pursue it on like a global scale to make a difference. That's what matters to Queen Mary. So the last program then is MA Digital Media and Global Cultures. I did say to Jenny, did you mind if I just squeeze it in very quickly? Because it's just gone live on our website as of this week. So just important, we've had lots of inquiries, lots of international students that have indicated interest, but they can now apply. So if you want lots more information on this, please do go onto the website. And Richard Bingham, his email's here, is happy to answer any detailed questions. So he wasn't available right now, but I'm happy to give you a little bit of a quick run through. So with digital media and global cultures, it's really tackling, as many people have said today, just how the world is changing really drastically with social media, algorithms, culture, identity, power, how this is affecting the world on a global scale. We're even seeing right now what's happening politically, how social media, digital media can affect things. So this is to really tackle that and equip students with the knowledge to be able to understand the context of what happens behind the screen, what is going on with these algorithms, and having that global focus as well. So it's not just from a Western perspective. We're looking at this program from, very much like across the world, and how this affects elections, AI generated images, creativity, theft, legal implications of where digital media is going. And as I said, very much global focus. So looking at WeChat and different fandoms as well. So I'm just going to close that one down. So to give you an idea of the program overview then. So for this one, it's 1 year full-time MA, and the structure is 4 modules and a dissertation. So in your first semester, you'll have 2 compulsory modules, and these are theories and critical concepts, which will look at platform studies, really giving students a good foundation of critical media theory. And then you will go on to do global audiences and participatory culture. So this is where you're looking at that fan movements to platform politics and really understanding digital media from that political stance. And then once you've built that really strong foundation, in semester 2, you will do 1 compulsory and 1 elective as well. So the compulsory is the digital methods and ethics, which is really, really important for students to understand data analysis and ethics. This is going to be massive in the future for doing policy writing, the legal elements of digital media and what direction it's going in. Governments now are playing catch up when it comes to how to cope with AI and the power that's coming from social media accounts. So having that understanding in semester 2, you take it to the next level, and then you will choose your elective module. So that is personalized media and digital self, looking at Instagram filters, dating apps, for example, Latin American digital cultures, or technological aesthetics, so or geopolitics and digital art. We are adding more and more elective modules to this program. Just to let you know, it's housed within our modern languages and cultures department, as well as our film department as well. So this is something to give you an idea where it's not just digital media, it's very much the cultures that impact that. And then in semester 3, you will do your dissertation. So students focus then on everything they've learned, a topic that they're passionate about, and they will be supported by our colleagues who are experts in those fields to develop this project even further. So the skills, careers, pathways, it's such a relevant subject area. It's only going to keep growing. And at this stage, students will be at the forefront of that learning and that research. So advanced digital literacy. So we're talking next level, things that, again, lots of policymakers don't understand now. We need experts in the field, both in the UK and globally. And also looking at the ethical issues, those new ethical issues like deep fake, surveillance, private autonomy, all these really interesting, kind of scary but important things for us to be aware of. And then communication as well, so academic writing and cross-cultural presentations as well. So you can present this work to the regular Joe Blow, like someone who doesn't understand these concepts. You can disseminate that information in nice, clear format. Career opportunities, really wide-ranging. We are looking at NGOs, likes of UNESCO, global firms, as well as tech companies, marketing and media. It'll be really, really highly sought after skills and experience after this. Roles within digital management, content creation, strategy, policy, writing and making as well, for sure will be part of this role. And then just, transferable skills, the actual being able to adapt to those creative industries, businesses or research as well will be really, really important. And just like with the creative arts media, this is also 2-1 or above at undergraduate level in any subject. So we do really encourage students from many different backgrounds to apply for this program, and don't expect everyone to come from a tech background. We will give you that foundation. Again, the experts in our field have that experience and they're going to relay that. We would ask for students that have a curiosity and interest within that world, and that will just help them with their dissertation at the end to pick an area that they can really take forward then within their careers. So that, I think, is all of everything from me. Hopefully that was I know there's a lot of information, but you might email and Richard's, Linnea's as well. I'm happy to answer afterwards if anyone does have follow-up questions. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Thanks, everybody. And that has been a very informative session to introduce our new programs at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. And now we're going into more details about the scholarship opportunities available at Queen Mary. So this year, we are going to launch a new scholarship scheme for our international students, which is called the Present Global Scholarship. So we have 20 awards available, 10K scholarships for postgraduate international students only. So 20 awards available, and this applies to all programs the student apply to, and we do have a specific academic requirement, which is the minimum of first-class degree or overseas equivalent. There will be a separate application required for this excellent scholarship. The application link will be provided to all of our partners fairly soon, and then the process should be fairly straightforward. It will be a very short application form. Very likely the student will be asked for several questions to really present themselves and give them this opportunity to stand out during the application process. And then there will be a scholarship committee to look at those applications and then make the decision on the 20 awards. And it's a very high value scholarship. So we really hope this 10K scholarship will give our excellent international students more opportunities to their future ambitions. And apart from this very elite and selective scholarship, we also going to continue our Global Talent Scholarship. So Global Talent Scholarship this year slightly different from the previous intakes. This year, we have split the Global Talent Scholarships for undergraduate students and postgraduate students with different sets of requirements and also rules. So for our Global Talent Scholarship undergraduate division, the value is £3,000 for each scholarship. The scholarship will be deducted from your overall tuition fee. When the students actually enroll with Queen Mary. It is eligible for all regions, so it doesn't matter where your student coming from, they will be able to be considered for this scholarship. And there's no application required. So once your students submit the application and once we receive all of the final academic documents from your students, then we will confirm automatically whether they're eligible for this scholarship or not. And academic requirement is fairly straightforward. A-level grades we're expecting AAA or A*AA or international equivalent. I've already included a QR code here. So if you want to understand a bit more about this scholarship, then you will be able to find the details from this page. I also wanted to highlight for the Global Talent Scholarship undergraduate division, it is a it applies to almost all of our undergraduate degrees, apart from some transnational education programs and some programs that is funded by the government or some other bodies as well. So just have a look on the web page. There's a full list of details to look at. Then moving to the Global Talent Scholarship for postgraduate taught overseas students, the value is £5,000, which is higher than the previous year's value. So this is good news for all of our international students. We do have a list of selected regions. It covers all of the key regions, and we're really trying to encourage students coming from the regions that perhaps need a little bit more support financially to get into their ideal study destination. We have a number of over 440 awards available for international students for 2025 September intake. This application required, and you can see the QR code that will take you to the application form. Very straightforward. We'll ask you about the students' general information. Mainly, we want to understand the students' program of choice, because we do allow students to apply for multiple postgraduate programs at Queen Mary, but for Global Talent Scholarship can only be associated with one program. So the student need to make a clear indication in their scholarship application form. And another thing is, for the postgraduate scholarship, we will be issuing provisional offers to students who perhaps just got a conditional offer with us. At least we give you the indication that as long as you achieve the 2-1 degree or overseas equivalence, we will guarantee you having this Global Talent Scholarship. So that gives students a bit early indication and more confidence as well. So do please encourage your students to apply ASAP. One thing I want to highlight here for the Global Talent Scholarship is we will associate the scholarship final allocation with our deposit payment. Because the scholarship is still limited, 414 scholarships available, and we have several deposit deadlines for our international students who apply for a postgraduate taught degree. So we must and make sure that students who don't respond to our deposit deadline would be basically withdrawn from the Global Talent Scholarship, and we will be able to reallocate those scholarships to students who may need really need this help. So that's the format. So please do remind your students, have a look the website and also understand the requirements. We will send out a reminder to all students once they submit application in terms of the deposit deadline, and we will give students a 2 weeks a grace period if the payment was just in the pipeline, hasn't arrived in our university account, and so on and so forth. So we will be as considerable as possible. And then for the turnaround time, from the point of view submitting the application by until you receive the decision from us is about 4 weeks turnaround time. I also wanted to say is for the Global Talent Scholarship, if your student is, present a very good profile, perhaps not as competitive as to other applicants, then we might put them on the waiting list and will be reconsider them in the second, in the next round when we know the uptake from the recipients, if that makes any sense. And any questions, please do send your queries to Global Engagement Office. So that is the Global Talent Scholarship is different from the previous year, and all of those Global Talent Scholarship postgraduate division application is open now, and we have already awarded quite a lot of scholarships. So if your students got offer from us and are considering about Queen Mary and would like to have some rewards for their excellent academic performance, then do please submit your application ASAP. We will consider them and provide an update shortly. Apart from those scholarships that is more applicable for all international students and in a more general term, we also have working with different scholarship bodies and provide a lot of opportunities for our international students. Those are just some examples. Some of those scholarships are for a specific region. So, for example, Commonwealth Master Scholarships and also China Scholarships, Council Scholarships. Most of those scholarships will be eligible, applicable for postgraduate PhD students mainly. I want to highlight there are 5 full tuition fee waivers available under the British Council Women in STEM Scholarships umbrella, and the deadline is in April. So if you do have any students who are suitable for this sort of like requirement, do please encourage them to make this application ASAP. The rest of the examples here, like Chevening, Commonwealth, and the China Scholarship Council scholarships, I believe the deadlines have gone past, but I wanted to highlight here so that you will provide some information to your students for future intakes as well. That's another thing I think is a really beneficial for our agents, school counselors, and our students here. So we have a quite comprehensive scholarship database. Apart from like those joint scholarships with other scholarship bodies and also global talent scholarships, some of our schools and even programs would have their own specific program level or school level scholarship for students. And the QR code here included in this slide will take you to the scholarship database that you would be able to search for your students based on their program of choice or subject area of interest, and that will take you to the list of the scholarships available for the upcoming intake. So that's really, really helpful. It's a lot of opportunities available for international students at Queen Mary. So I'm not listing all of those scholarships options here. So please do take a sneak peek at this database. So that's all from us today about scholarships. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And I noticed that we have several questions. What are the entry requirements for the 10K scholarship? Thank you for this question. As I mentioned, for the 10K scholarship is our President's Global Scholarship, which is very competitive. 20 awards are available, and we expecting students have at least 2 first-class UK degree or international equivalence. So that is the entry requirement for this group of applicants. We also would have a separate application that will require students to answer several questions. And to give you a sneak peek here, for those questions, mainly we wanted to understand why students think they will be eligible for this scholarship, for example, how this scholarship is going to support their personal development, future ambition, and also how they are going to, if they get this scholarship, how they're going to support the Queen Mary community as an international student, what they can bring to Queen Mary student body, and also how they're going to give back to the society in the future after they graduate. We would like to understand the very holistic journey of this scholar, so we can decide who needs this scholarship the most. And we would really like to support our excellent talents from different regions. I think we covered all of the questions so far, and I wanted to thank all of our academic colleagues again for the very, and also Olivia for the very informative session about our new programs. Just to recap, today we introduced the several different programs at both undergraduate and postgraduate level. We have the BSc Applied Artificial Intelligence, which is undergraduate offering for September 2025 intake. The general A-level requirements will be AAB. The application is still open, although the equal consideration deadline has gone past. Please do encourage your students apply for it. And this program does not require students have prior coding knowledge or experience. We also have the MSc Global Business and Sustainability available from the School of Business and Management, and this program opens to students with a social sciences background, or perhaps a student from other subject areas, but with relevant professional experience in social sciences. We would really encourage students to consider, and the entry requirement in general is 2-1 UK degree or international equivalent. However, for mid to high to students, we also encourage them to apply for this program. We have 3 very exciting programs coming from our School of the Arts. The first one is a MSc program, which is the Linguistics and AI. And we also have the program from the same school that is, let's pull out the, we have the Digital Media and the Global Cultures, which the application just opened this week. So if your students interested in media, please do make the application ASAP. I've shared the page list, a page link to the in the chat function as well. And we also have the MA Creative Arts and Media programs. So we have quite a lot of offering, and we also talked about our scholarship offering today. And so for Global Talent Scholarship Postgraduate Division, we have a specific application form that requires students to fulfill. And we are going to launch our very first President Global Scholarship, which is a 10K scholarship, 20 awards available. So thank you so much today for your time and for joining us. We will send everybody the recording, and then any questions, please connect with Global Engagement Office. Thank you very much all.